on track. I think we'll go ahead and get started. Hello, Miss Karina.
Hello, welcome.
All right, so in the chat box, there is the items if you want to make the scrub with Patty today. You can take a look at that. And we are going to go ahead and get this party going. We've got a good amount of signups, but what I've noticed is people transitioning from work are coming in a little bit late. So as people come in late, Patty, I will message them with what they need to be able to do the scrub today if they're going to do it. And
Sounds
so
great.
we will get started very quickly. Welcome, welcome. We are recording this event, and I just want to welcome you to Banyan Women's Collective 501c3. We are a nonprofit in the San Francisco Bay Area, and this is class number 2 with Patty, Botanical Beauty, Exfoliate for glowing skin. And if you are here or you're watching this replay, just want to commend you for showing up. Skincare is a vital part of our self-care, and skincare is more than just buying products. It's how we think, it's how we navigate our day-to-day, it's the environmental toxins around us, it's the food that we put in our bodies. And so I commend you for showing up and learning a little bit more about how to care for yourself and your skin. And we will have plenty of time for you to ask questions. And I will pass it to Patty now. Miss Patty.
Great. Great. Thank you so much, Melissa. I'm so happy to be teaching this course, this 3-part series. Last time we talked about cleansing for glowing skin. Today we're going to be talking about exfoliating. And then at the end of this course, I will talk a little bit about part 3. So let's jump right in. Okay, so today what I'm going to cover, I'm going to go through some quick introductions, tell you a little bit about myself and my background, share a little bit about your skin and one specific layer to your skin, which is called the epidermis. You may or may not be familiar with this layer already. How exfoliation can support the health of our skin, what its benefits are, both in terms of beauty and health, and then the types of exfoliation we have at hand. Then we're going to do a demo for a body scrub, so I hope you can join me for this. The ingredients for the body scrub, I would imagine, can be found in a kitchen. So if you have fine brown sugar or sea salt and you have some oil like olive oil or avocado oil, anything you cook with, then you can make a body scrub with me. So I hope you find this informative and accessible. We're going to wrap up the class with Q&A and share a little bit about the upcoming class in August. Okay, so hi, I'm Patty Liu. I am a clinical herbalist and holistic beauty coach. I also practice Reiki and offer healing sessions. I'm based in Oakland and Santa Cruz. Technically, I recently moved to Capitola, but I'm still fairly local in the Bay Area. And my goal with my work is to help women like you amplify your natural beauty so you can look and feel your best. I, in addition to coaching and teaching workshops, run a conscious beauty brand called Free Flow Botanicals. And through this brand, I offer skincare and self-love rituals so that you can really amplify your natural beauty. So I have a variety of plant-based skincare products using many herbs that I used to grow in my garden, and I offer a variety of natural beauty tools. So my journey as an educator, since becoming a clinical herbalist, I have worked with over 100 students, really sharing the principles of herbalism, holistic health, and beauty. So I teach a variety of classes. Melissa and I were just talking about some upcoming fall programming around chronic stress and herbs for immune health. So please stay tuned for that. All right, so let's get up close and personal with our skin today. So I want to introduce the skin to you. If you took part one of this series with me in July, this will be a good reminder, good refresh. But for those of you who are new to this series, I want to really emphasize the importance of our skin. It's more than just the skin, as Melissa alluded to earlier. Our skin does so much for us. And it is my personal belief that your skin is a reflection of your inner being. So, what is often going on internally is reflected on your skin. And we'll get into more of that later. So, the skin is part of the integumentary system, along with the hair, nails, and appendages. It is a semi permeable waterproof layer. And in that it allows us to absorb beauty products. It allows us to absorb a certain amount of water, but it doesn't absorb all the water that we are exposed to, for example, for taking a shower or bath. And that's helpful, right? Otherwise, we would swell up like a balloon. Um, our skin can actually take up, as I mentioned, beauty products. It can drink, quote unquote, or absorb what we put onto it. And this is a process known as transdermal penetration. Some of the major functions of the skin include protection. So we're going to learn about how our skin protects us from foreign pathogens, from invaders, including cells of the skin that specifically have a role in protecting us. It has sensory receptors that allow us to feel whether it's hot or cold outside, and thereby sending signals to our brain to enable us to sweat or shiver in response to that coldness or warmth we're experiencing in our internal environment. Our skin, by way of sunlight, can help us synthesize hormones like vitamin D. It can help us eliminate waste. We can actually shed pounds of waste each day through sweating. Temperature regulation we talked about, and immunity we talked about, in protecting us from foreign pathogens and harmful invaders. So another beautiful feature of the skin is that it is extremely flexible, right? So our skin allows us to move, it allows us to walk, it allows us to dance, practice yoga, stretch without causing injury. So just think about all the benefits and functions that our skin plays in our day-to-day. All right, so this is another refresher if you had a chance to attend part one, but I want to really take a close look at the structure of our skin. And let's start at the bottom with the hypodermis. So the hypodermis is part of it's not actually part of the skin itself, but it's the layer of fat beneath the skin. The hypodermis is often genetically determined. So it means that it can be thicker in some parts of the body, or thinner in other parts of the body, right? It tends to be thicker in our abdominal region, right? Because we have a lot of precious organs to protect. So that is the role of the hypodermis. It provides insulation, it acts as a cushion, it acts as an energy reserve, keeps us warm. And one up above that, you can see here, the middle section is the dermis. And this is what is known as the true skin. So there is a lot going on in the dermal layer. We have hair follicles. We have sebaceous or oil glands that help produce oil to keep our skin moist and soft and supple. There are nerve endings. There are lymphatic vessels. There are connective tissues. There's the vasculature. So nutrients and oxygen are transported through blood vessels to give different cells in our skin the nutrients it needs. The dermis contains also structural proteins like collagen and elastin, so it gives our skin that support. And then finally, the topmost layer, which is the layer we're going to focus on today, is the epidermis. This is the outermost protective layer. It does not contain blood vessels, unlike the dermis, but it contains squamous cells or epithelial cells, epidermal cells, and the function is to regulate the loss of water and really protect us. Within the epidermis, I'm going to continue on to the next slide. This is a enlarged view of the epidermal layer. So the epidermal layer contains, excuse me, two main layers, which is the basal layer or the quote unquote living layer. And that's pretty much this here, which you can see the majority of our epidermal layer. And then the outermost layer, the topmost layer here, which you can see the cells here are actually flattened quite a bit. And this is known as the stratum corneum or the horny dead layer. So I'm not sure why they're called horny, but maybe they look like little horns protruding out. But this layer up top is the dead layer. The deepest layer here that's sitting right above the dermis, as you can see on the bottom with the blood vessels, this layer, the basal layer, contains melanocytes. And if you're familiar with the concept of melanocytes, melanocytes produce melanin, which gives our skin a certain pigment or color. And melanin can actually help to filter out UV rays so that it offers a type of natural SPF or internal SPF. What else do I want to say? So the epidermis, given that it's the outermost portion of our skin, it contains pores, which allows oil and sweat to escape. And it also regulates the loss of water. We talked about melanocytes in the basal layer. There are also a type of group of cells called Langerhans cells, which are also in the basal layer and prominent throughout the epidermis. And the Langerhans cells are actually a type of immune cell. They're part of the skin's innate immunity, and they help to really block the penetration, the skin from attack, from viral infection, viral pathogens, outside invaders. So they will actually trigger T cells and immune cells to come and attack whatever may be trying to invade our bodies through our skin. And then we have at the very top, at the stratum corneum, which is our horny dead layer, we have keratin. So keratinocytes, which produce keratin, which is that very hard protein that we often we will see in our hair and our nails as well. So the keratin is something that is produced in this topmost layer, and yeah. So what happens to our epidermis in about 2 to 4 weeks? Does anyone want to take a guess? Yes, so I see Mel. She's indicating that our skin sheds, right? So absolutely. Okay. So your skin is in a constant state of renewal. So continuing off the shedding of the skin, we have young skin cells that are created in the basal layer or the living layer. Excuse me. These are created, and then over time they divide, they proliferate, they mature. So as they mature and continue to divide, they will eventually get flatter and flatter until they die. And this is a beautiful cycle that we see in our skin, right? And does this remind you of anything? Like if you look outside, if you can look outside and see trees or nature or your natural environment or your surroundings, this is pretty closely aligned with the rhythms and the cycles of nature, right? So we have birth or creation, growth or maturation, and followed by death. So this is the process of our skin shedding. And this process of shedding or desquamation is the process in which these skin cells are created, sloughed away, and replaced. And this process is the amount of time in which this process occurs is known as our cell turnover rate. So before I continue, I just want to say that because our skin cells turn over at a specific rate. So it's about every 2 to 4 weeks. Many folks believe it to be 4 weeks, and I will show you why it's not just 4 weeks, but 4 weeks is sort of like an average. Um, why is that so important? And from a holistic beauty and holistic health perspective, it's because if we have problematic skin, or if you know someone with problematic skin, with an inflammatory skin condition, perhaps acne, and you or someone you know changes your diet, and let's say you switch from a diet from processed foods, fried foods, inflammatory foods, and you start eating really nutrient rich, dense foods, colors of the rainbow. And then a few days go by and maybe you might notice an improvement in your skin, but you're thinking, wow, that's not good enough. That's not fast enough. Well, it takes about 2 to 4 weeks for our skin cells to regenerate, right? So what you're eating becomes the building blocks, literally the building blocks of your skin cells. And so if you can wait about 2 to 4 weeks, then all those nutrients that you are getting into your skin via the dermal layer, all those nutrients that are passing through your blood vessels are being funneled into your skin cells. Nutrients like vitamins A, E, C. Vitamin C, for example, is really important and necessary for collagen production. Vitamin E is what gives our skin cells elasticity and suppleness. So therefore, it's really important. This is why diet makes such an important difference. This is why diet is so critical for the health of our skin. So back to cell turnover rate. So unfortunately, cell turnover rate declines naturally with age. And you can see here, we all long for baby smooth skin, right? So I didn't include babies up here because babies have the softest skin, right? I'm sure we're all very envious of baby skin. Their turnover rates are within a matter of days. But as we age into our teens, our 20s, our 30s, 40s, 50s, and up, the amount of time it takes for our skin to naturally shed the topmost layer will extend up to 3 months. Can you believe that? So with that said, if our skin and its cell turnover rates are impaired, what does that mean for our skin? What happens when our skin cannot turn over as quickly as the skin of a baby can? This can affect not only the appearance of your skin, but the actual health of your skin, right? Because in the true sense of holistic beauty, it's not just how you look, but how you feel. So this is what we're going to really place an emphasis on: appearance and health. So the presence of dead skin cells, right? So the inability of the cells to turn over within a short amount of time leads to a buildup of dead skin cells because they cannot be sloughed away naturally. This can lead to, one, clogged pores. Clogged pores meaning your pores, instead of saying, excuse me, clogged pores, instead of remaining clear and open, become clogged with dead skin cells. And this can make your skin more prone to bacterial infection. There's a very popular strain, P. acnes, that is often known to exist and be present with clogged pores. Rough, uneven texture, right? So you saw the horny layer, right? So if that horny layer remains present on the top of your skin over time, it can cause your skin to not only look but also feel rough, and it can look uneven too. Overall, the skin has a dull appearance and also uneven complexion. And importantly, if you're the type to invest in really expensive products or really exquisite products, very high-end beauty serums, or even natural beauty serums like rose hip seed oil, which are wonderful products. If your skin has that dead layer of dead skin cells, it's almost acts like a barrier, right? So your skin is actually impaired from being able to absorb all that nutrient rich goodness from the oils or the products, the beauty serums or moisturizer that you're receiving. So Melissa, you have a question. Can you, what is KP? If you don't mind just typing that in. Okay, so while Melissa's typing that in, okay, so can you like specifically what is the concern? So keratosis pilaris, my understanding, is an accelerated growth of skin cells, right? And oftentimes uh, that can present itself as psoriasis, right? So or you have like excess skin cells building on top of each other.
Right. So they're contributing to early menopause. Um, and what's odd is the doctor, it's been so bad that I finally had to go be seen. And I'm somebody that I've always had flawless skin. I never had acne when I was younger. Like, this is really weird for me. Um, but it's really uncomfortable. And the first thing was like, she said, "Oh, have you had a baby?" And I said, "Well, yeah." She said, "Well, you probably had this when you gave birth." And I said, "No, I don't know what this is." And it's not centralized like most people, like it's starting to cover my body. So I'm actually on doxycycline right now,
Mm.
trying to ease it. But yes, it's like an overgrowth of cells packing the skin, and instead of being on some central areas, it's like on all the areas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
And
sure
it's
you hadn't.
quite uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. I am not too familiar with topical treatments for this, but what I know is the actual cause is unknown. It's unknown. There's speculation that it could be hormonal. There's speculation that it could be and hormonal, which can lead to variances in our own internal thermal regulation. So causing things to speed up and proliferate more quickly. But I'm gonna do some digging, and if I come up with something, I will be sure to follow up with you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, so because we want to make sure that we can limit the buildup of dead skin cells on our skin as much as possible, what can we do? What can you do to improve cell turnover? And that is the topic of this workshop, this class, where we exfoliate our way to glowing skin. So, what's exfoliation? It's defined as the manual process of removing dead skin cells from the epidermis. And in the chat box, please let me know. I'd love to get a sense of who is currently exfoliating. Are you currently exfoliating your skin, whether your face or your body, or maybe not at all? Or maybe you're not familiar with the concept of exfoliation, but if you could please let me know, that would be super helpful. The health and beauty benefits, right? So this helps to address some of the issues of dead skin buildup. You have decongestion of pores, so you help clear your pores. You can help to prevent the buildup of acne, right? You can help to increase absorption of beauty products, and you can increase the evenness and texture of your skin tone. Okay, yeah, but I worry I'm making my condition worse, definitely. So there are ways to just sort of test it out, test the waters. Okay, so let's take a look at types of exfoliants. So in the botanical natural ingredient world, there are two main types of exfoliants. One is physical, the other is chemical. So physical, as its name implies, helps to manually buff away. So you're like you're taking a sponge, right? And you're like, as if you're cleaning a dish, you're like scrubbing away the dirt or the grease. In this case, you're scrubbing away in a very gentle way dead skin cells. There are different types of physical exfoliants: scrubs, brushes, sponges, cloths. You can make a body polish, for example, which is a type of exfoliant that we are going to create today. You can use a body brush, a konjac sponge. This is derived from a potato plant in Asia, or even a muslin cloth. Okay, so Ruby says, I use Aveeno Daily Moisturizing every day on my arms and legs. So I'm assuming, Ruby, you're referring to the exfoliating scrub. I will assume that's what you meant. And then the second class of exfoliants is chemical. So chemical works not by scrubbing away dead skin cells, but actually getting into the layers of the epidermis and dissolving the skin cells bonds. So the glue that holds the skin cells to get the dead skin cells together, this chemical exfoliant will actually dissolve it. So the two main types are alpha hydroxy acids and beta hydroxy acids. Thankfully, alpha hydroxy acids can be found in a variety of fruits. It can be found in also sugar cane. It can even be let's see, yeah. So, and then beta hydroxy acids can also be found in fruits or sugar. Beta hydroxy acid is also salicylic acid is a type of beta hydroxy acid, and it just depends on how the bonds are formed within these types of acids. So the sources I mentioned: fruits, sugar cane, even dairy is a type of exfoliant, and you will see why I'm not a fan of eating dairy in general, just for skin health. But in terms of applying out of your skin, that's a whole nother story. Okay, so I've listed some of my favorite natural ingredient exfoliants. And these are a combination of both physical and chemical. So first, almonds. If you go out to the store and you buy almond meal, or if you care to grind raw almonds on your own, almonds are extremely high in emollients, and they can be used in a very fine powder or ground meal as a gentle face or body scrub to gently condition and exfoliate dry skin. If you have extremely sensitive skin, you want to be careful with physical exfoliants like almonds, because that could cause micro tears. So that's just something to be mindful of. Organic, grass-fed milk contains lactic acid, and this works as a chemical exfoliant. It can also be used as a skin softening mask, and this is quite suitable for all skin types. Similarly to milk, the use of yogurt or even kefir, while it also contains lactic acid, yogurt contains probiotics, which helps you maintain a healthy microflora on your skin. So in part one of this series, we talked about preserving your skin's microbiome, keeping the acid mantle happy and healthy. Probiotics for the skin are a wonderful way to preserve this healthy microflora. And then we are back to physical exfoliants. So fine salt. Fine salt is very healing, right? It's naturally antimicrobial. But it can be a tad bit drying. So this is used as an abrasive exfoliant. By abrasive, I just mean physical, to slough away rough skin. So this I recommend just for the body, and definitely avoid using fine salt on your body if your skin is super dry, if it's sensitive or irritated. Next, we have sugar. So sugar is a lot less drying than salts. But again, recommended for body use only. And the beautiful thing about sugar, so if I were to ask you, is sugar a physical or a chemical exfoliant? Would you have a guess as to which? Feel free to type in your guess. Would sugar be a physical or chemical exfoliant? Okay, Melissa writes chemical. Anyone else have a guess? Okay, so chemical is correct. It's also a physical exfoliant. So it's both. Sugar, because of its granules, help you slough away dead skin cells, but sugar also contains glycolic acid, which is a component in a lot of beauty products, a very expensive beauty products. So glycolic acid has a remarkable ability to dissolve the bonds of dead skin cells chemically. So if you were to use, sugar on your face, I would recommend powdered brown sugar. So you want to get as fine as possible. Yes, so much more affordable. And then finally, we've got ground oats, one of my favorites. Oats are just simply wonderful for folks with most types of inflammatory skin conditions, right? So you can use it on your face or your body, depending, which form you use. You can use ground oats to make a very gentle face and body scrub. You can use powdered oats for a cleanser or a facial mask. Colloidal oats is very popular, right? For folks who have very sensitive skin, it's gentle enough for a baby or an infant or a toddler. This can be used to help relieve rashes or other skin irritations. So here are just a number of natural exfoliants. And of course, you are always welcome to mix in dried botanicals. So you can ground up dried botanicals like chamomile or lavender and mix them with oats or milk or yogurt or even sugar for an additive therapeutic effect. Okay, so I'm gonna just keep trotting along here. Some general tips for exfoliation. If you can, I would encourage you to use a combination of both physical and chemical, so you get that dual benefit. Consider your skin type and the products you're currently using. So if you have very sensitive, very irritated skin, you may not want to use a physical exfoliant like a scrub. You might want to rely more on a chemical exfoliant using things like milk or yogurt, and yogurt is great for the probiotics. If you're currently using a retinol, right? Retinol is it's just so well known in the beauty industry, like the conventional beauty industry, just for um, plumping up the skin. It goes deeper into the skin's layers. It actually goes into the dermal layer. So we talked about most exfoliants reaching the epidermal layer, but retinol can actually go down into the dermis to boost collagen and elastin, which is why retinol is so popular. It can also create a lot of sun sensitivity and overall skin sensitivity. So, so a great alternative is bakuchiol. I always have a hard time saying that, but it is a plant-derived alternative. It's from the bapchi herb, which has been used extensively in Ayurvedic skin practices as an alternative to retinol. So again, because herbs like retinol, or I'm sorry, ingredients like retinol can actually thin out your skin, making it sensitive, you always want to consider the products you're currently using. Does retinol exfoliate skin too? Yes, it does. It helps to exfoliate in the epidermal layer on a chemical level. So use small circular motions, be very gentle, and avoid active breakouts. So if you have an acne breakout, like you would want to avoid, especially using a physical exfoliant, because that could further aggravate the breakout. And then customize frequency to your personal lifestyle and skin's needs. So this is something that you want to play around with. So I recommend starting out once a week. Okay, just gonna breeze through this. Make sure you do not over exfoliate. Sometimes we exfoliate once and we see how soft and smooth our skin gets. So we're like, oh, let's do it again the next day and the next day. Over exfoliating can weaken the skin barrier, which can lead to a whole host um, of issues. And then Cecilia, I'm going to answer that question towards the end, but that's a great question. How do we use retinol and AHA, BHA together? So actually, yeah, I'm going to save that to the end. Okay, and then just a quick recap. What's your skin type? So this is a guide that I'm including and will be sent out at the end of this class. It was sent out at the end of the first part of this series, and just has some general recommendations based on your skin type of what I recommend in terms of cleansing, toning, exfoliating, and what herbs might best support your skin. So this is a very comprehensive guide. Definitely feel free to take a look and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so let's exfoliate. Yeah, okay, time to dance. So I need to move downstairs into my kitchen. So let's touch base in 2 minutes, okay? So we'll have time to exfoliate and then get everyone's questions answered.
And everyone, if you do want to make this scrub, most of the stuff should be in most kitchens, and she gave some options. So I'm going to repost it again as I'm grabbing my own stuff. There you go.
Okay, hopefully you all can see me and hear me okay. All right, so Melissa, thank you for posting the ingredients for the body scrub. So we are gonna make a exfoliating body scrub right now, and it's super easy. I really love body scrubs because of all of its benefits, not only for exfoliating, but also for moisturizing. So what you'll need is either some fine brown sugar. So if you tend to have drier skin, more sensitive skin, this would probably be your best bet. If you have more oily skin or you have just like some problematic skin, assuming that it's not damaged or irritated, then you can go with fine sea salt. And then you're going to want to use a carrier oil. I've got olive oil. Olive oil works really well. I've also got grapeseed oil, but really whatever you've got in your kitchen. So very straightforward. You're gonna take a clean glass container, this little mason jar I just grabbed from my kitchen here. And you're gonna take about a quarter cup of either sugar or salt. In my case, I'm gonna use sugar. You can even, if you wanna play around with sugar and salt, you can use a combination of both. This is stable at room temperature. So Ruby, it is not necessary to keep it in the fridge. You could if you want. I'm sorry, I actually meant a third cup, but really you can do a quarter cup. It's really up to you. So I just grabbed a quarter cup, but you can use a third cup. I also am sending out the recipe after this class. So then you've got your sugar inside your clean container, and next you want to add about a quarter cup of your carrier oil. In this case, I'm going to use grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil is a really wonderful oil that is very supportive for most skin types. It's very nutrient rich. Olive oil is a great option too. It's very beneficial for very dry skin. So in this case, I'm going to go for all around beneficial oil, and that's grapeseed. So I'm just going to measure out about a quarter cup and then add it to my sugar. And if you're doing this along with me, you just want to maybe give it a moment, and it's very cool. You can watch the oil seep to the bottom of the jar. You can also take a clean utensil and stir it. Okay, it smells so good. And then that's really it. So you can, this is just the most simple, basic recipe. If you want to add a little bit of aroma to it, you can add 6 to 8 drops of an essential oil. If you want something relaxing, lavender's a really good option. If you want something more uplifting, something like peppermint or grapefruit would be wonderful options, especially in the mornings if you need a little pick-me-up in your shower. These are great options. And then rosemary is also a great option. And rosemary is actually, it can be a lymphatic, stimulating essential oil. So what does that mean? So similar to dry brushing, it can help to promote lymphatic movement, right? So if you add 6 to 8 drops of rosemary, that can help as you scrub and moisturize. So I'm gonna go with grapefruit because I love feeling invigorated. I'm just gonna add 6 drops here. Stir it with my clean utensil, and voila, you've got your body scrub. And it smells so good, and it is ready to be used. So just one word of caution, because this is an oil base, it's going to make the floor of your bathtub quite slippery. So just be very careful when you're in your bathtub. Just be very careful you don't slip. That's one thing you just want to be very mindful of. And again, so to Ruby's question, you don't need to keep it in the fridge. This is completely stable at room temperature, as long as your place is not like 80, 90 degrees inside, but 65 degrees, it should be no problem. And these also make really wonderful gifts, right? So the holidays are still 6 months away, but this would be a great Christmas gift. You might want to choose different packaging, but you could even tie like a little bow. And this is just such a simple, wonderful gift. And I think everyone appreciates a good body scrub. All right, so so that concludes our demo. Let me bring my computer over and just finish up. Oops. Okay, hold on. Let me share my screen. I want to make sure we have time for questions. All right. Okay, let's see. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this class and learned a thing or two about exfoliating and the benefits of exfoliating, and hope you feel inspired to do some body scrubbing tonight or make some for yourself later on or for your friends or family. And as I mentioned, this is the second part of a 3-part series. And next time we will be talking about how you can detoxify. So we're going to take in the ingredients that we talked about today, and it's going to build on that. So we're going to use some of the ingredients we talked about today and how they can be used for detoxification. So please join us. You can sign up at banyanwomen.org. The class will be held Wednesday, August 18th from 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific. And there will also be a list of ingredients for you to gather should you decide to participate. Okay, some additional resources. Through Free Flow Botanicals, I also create exfoliating products. So if you are looking for something to help support your skin, I have a product that is one of my customer favorites. It's called Matcha Buffing Grains. It's antioxidant rich. I've used very finely powdered almonds and oats to create it. You can use it either as an exfoliating scrub or a facial mask because there's some clay included there as well. Body brushing is also a great way to exfoliate your skin. You can do that on alternate days with body scrubbing. It's just a really nice way to get your lymphatic drainage activated. And then I have a special offer for the folks who are in class today. If you are interested in my products, the matcha buffing grains or the body brushes or anything else, please enjoy 15% off your next order and use code BAYANWOMEN. And my website is freeflowbotanicals.com. I also offer a variety of other services, including coaching, and Reiki sessions. You can DM me for more details. And then I also offer a variety of free resources. So if you want to learn more about the benefits of body brushing, for example, or you'd like to get some tips for inner and outer beauty as it relates to summer, or get some ideas on remedies for natural pain relief, these are all blog posts that I've written very extensively that you can find on my website. So feel free to reach out to me either on Instagram, or you can send me an email. And my email is at the bottom here, holisticbeautycommunity@gmail.com. So thank you so much for attending today. Thank you, Melissa, for sharing this space with me. And I look forward to seeing you all next time.
Yeah, I am enjoying this scent. It smells lovely, and I can't wait to use it tonight. Um,
Wonderful.
information that she just gave will all come in an email. You'll probably get it in about 30 minutes with the recipe and steps. But if you have any additional questions, of course, please reach out to us, reach out to Patty, and make sure to sign up for the next class because, like she said, we're just layering upon, and I learned a lot tonight, so thank you. Um, I'm, like I said, I'm so thrilled to use this right now. Use it.
Yeah, Lang Lang and Vetiver. Oh, those are amazing. Good picks.
It's
So
lovely.
is this safe for the face, you asked? So what type of sugar or salt did you use?
Fine brown sugar.
Okay, so for fine brown sugar, that is definitely safe for the body, but I would not recommend it for the face. It might be a little too aggravating. If you did want to use some type of sugar, it would need to be more powderized,
Okay,
so even finer than fine brown sugar.
perfect. Well, my body will appreciate it. So,
Yeah, let me know how it goes for you.
absolutely.
Um, and then Cecilia, and are we okay for a few questions? Okay. Cecilia asked, will the sugar or the salt melt in oil? If, like I said, if your apartment or home is, 80, 90 degrees, then yes, it will likely melt, but at room temperature, I think you'll be okay. If you want to just play it safe and put it in the fridge, that doesn't hurt at all. And then there was a question from Cecilia earlier about how do we use retinol and AHA, BHA together? So, so retinol, I'm assuming you're using like retinol in a commercial product. Is that is that correct? It's just I would need a little bit more detail. Are you talking about naturally or? Um, Okay, yes. So commercial serum. So what I know of using retinol like a commercial serum, obviously you are starting off with a small percentage and working your way up. I am familiar with natural AHAs. So I personally, and this is actually something we're going to cover quite a bit in the next part 3, detoxify, because I'm going to introduce you to some of these ingredients, these botanicals and natural ingredients that naturally contain AHAs, right? So we're talking citric acid found in lemon juice, right? So that's not to say go and apply undiluted lemon juice to your face right now, because that would cause a chemical burn. So please join me for the next class, because we're going to talk about using citric acid, malic acid that is found in apple cider vinegar, tartaric acid in grapes. So there are a variety of natural ingredients that you can supplement your commercial retinol serum with, right? But you have to do it safely. And this is something that I will share more about, just safety in general, and also patch testing, because we always want to patch test, right? So before we test out any new product. So hopefully that answers your question, and I will turn it to you, Melissa, to close out.
That's really exciting to be able to learn all those hacks that will save money. Well, thank you, Patty, and I know that you are not feeling so great today, so thank you for showing up, and I hope you feel better. Please make sure to stay in contact with us. We will have part 3 coming up on the website. It may actually already be up right now. And then it is up so you can sign. And then we're going to add